What's up, everyone? I'm Cynthia Conte, and welcome to another edition of the Best Women's Boxing Show, period. I'm joined by my lovely co-host.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jeandra, LeBeauf, of course, and we are back for another week of hot boxing talk up to the minute, and we have another interview to pop in for your enjoyment.
Oh, yeah. You're going to want to wait around for this because it's Miss Ebony Bridges. I caught her at the David Benavidez versus the Boo Boo Andrade fight in Las Vegas. Funny enough, I had no idea she was there until I saw her tweet. I'm like, I'm coming for you. But she is going to be fighting next week. But before we even get to any of that, we do have a lot of fights to talk about. Jeandra, we always have thoughts. And this past Saturday was an electric fight. You text me, you're like, I can feel the energy from the TV when Katie Taylor took on Chantel Cameron in her rematch in Ireland again. Girl, that was high. It was hype. The Irish fans came out once again.
It was electric. The arena was full. I love how they support her, that it goes beyond gender roles. They love Katie Taylor in Ireland. Like you said, the arena was packed. I watched it and I was just getting chills watching both of them walk to the ring. And come on, women. Come on, women. It's very, very exciting time for women's boxing. But, as you know, we've been championing it here the whole time.
Absolutely. And it was, we've been asking a lot of people, can Cameron retain her titles? Can Taylor pull off the upset? And a lot of people were pulling for Taylor to, pull it off. People thought Cameron she was going to just kind of plow her over, but wow, Taylor did. She looked better than I've seen her in her last several fights. Do I agree with the decision? No, but to each their own. There were a lot of things in that fight that a lot of people didn't like. And I for one, and I know you for one, that ref was basura. Like he was garbage. I believe it was a draw. It was donkey balls. Caca. But like I said, I didn't think it was robbery by any means. I thought it could have been a draw. It was a very, very close fight. I think it was second, third round. I thought it was a knockdown. You thought maybe it was a knockdown. They called it stepping on the foot. I don't know. What did you see?
If people could only see the text messages that we send each other, because we can't tweet all the things that we would like to tweet because we live in a very sensitive time now. However, I thought it was a knockdown. They ran it back. The replay took a little bit for the replay to come on the screen, and to me it was a clear knockdown. And I'm surprised that we haven't heard anything in the aftermath about them contesting the call. I mean, maybe if it was a draw or something like that, they would. Maybe they're taking steps. I don't know. But Katie Taylor, I will say this about Katie Taylor. Katie did look the best that I've seen her in a while, like just based on her midsection alone. She looked far more ripped than I remember her looking. She looked well conditioned. Thank God they braided her hair, but still, I want to introduce her to my braider, because it's not a Katie Taylor fight if her hair ain't coming to lose during the course of the match. But she looked sharp. But I too agree with you. I didn't like that call about the knockdown. I did not like the incessant holding, and never received a warning, nothing. But the minute Cameron kind of stepped outside of what they thought to be good combat action, she was warned, and don't do this and don't do that. I'm like, what about all this hugging? It looked like a family reunion. How much hugging can one do during a fight?
I know it was a little overkill. Katie does lead with her head. And it was so weird because Chantel Cameron, before the fight, they talked to the ref, and their coach, their team said during the fight, can you watch out for Katie Taylor's hugging and leading with the head? And ref is like, sure, this is that's my job, blah, 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 blah. And like I said, no diss on Katie, because Katie did her job. She did what she did. The ref did not do her job. So shame on you, ref, whoever you are, but whatever. The hugging was just too much. And that's why Cameron had a huge gash. Good for the cut man. I don't even know who her cut man was because of that head clash. But overall, it was a great fight. We're going to see part 3.
Of course, that gash was terrible. That gash was terrible. When they zoomed into it, I'm amazed. I just knew we were just going to get a Game of Thrones looking bloody face battle with it all streaming down the face. But the cut man did his thing. I thought it was competitive. And the fact that this fight ended the way it did, and they immediately started calling for a number 3, I couldn't help but wonder, like, are they trying to freeze Amanda Serrano out of her rematch? Because I know she still wants her rematch. I don't care. I haven't spoken to her directly. Yes, someone on Twitter told me, oh, she's making money. She's happy. That woman is a champion.
Yeah.
And throughout the course of her career, she's talked a lot about her accolades. She takes pictures with her accolades. She's very proud of them. So to kind of sort of cheapen, in a sense, her legacy, saying, well, she's making money hand over fist, she's good, I think is a little disingenuous, because that woman likes achievement.
Yes.
And I know she wants her rematch, because that first fight, well, we've talked extensively about their first fight. I thought she won their first fight, but now she's getting frozen out. Eddie probably hates Jake. You never know what's going on at play.
You know what? I never even thought about that, actually. But it depends if Amanda, because Katie Taylor, would she fight 3 rounds? Because Amanda has said that she only wants to go forward with 3 rounds. And that gets to our next topic, which we will get to, with involving Skye Nicolson. But I would, you know what? Amanda said she cannot end her career without having that rematch. She even tweeted it out that even though there's now a trilogy with Cameron and Croker Park in Italy, in Ireland.
Kroger Groceries.
Yes, I don't remember the name. But I think that Amanda will not be satisfied, because that fight was so close. I mean, that was the fight of the year. And as you know, Amanda gives us incredible fights, with her fight against Guzman, becoming undisputed. But we shall see. That is that we're going to have to put a little bookmark in that one, because the women's fights are always good. They're always banging, I'm telling you.
It's far from over.
Oh, it is. And then we had Skye Nicolson on the undercard. She was defending her WBC interim title. She fought that girl, Carice Artingstall. I guess there was a premature stoppage. I'm not really sure. Overall, again, she's been calling out Amanda Serrano because she is the WBC champion. Do you think she's ready? I don't think she is.
I don't think she's ready either.
Not yet. Not yet.
I look at them. I look at that whole that triangle we've got here. We've got Amanda Serrano. We've got Skye Nichols. Well, maybe like a square. It's not a triangle. Maybe so you've got like Katie. You've got Katie. You've got Amanda. You've got Amanda. You've got Skye. You've got just that whole. Okay, maybe it is a triangle. Maybe it is a little love triangle. But Amanda wants to fight her 3-minute rounds. But she also wants her accolades.
Yeah.
You've got Eddie, who represents Skye Nichols and Katie Taylor. You've got Amanda Serrano, who's represented by MVP Promotions. Ooh, that's interesting. Either way, Eddie and Jake Paul are going to have to do business with each other. And they both are. And now Jake Paul's back on DAZN. Yeah. So they have to do business with it. But what course of business are they going to take? I'd much rather see Amanda and Katie have their rematch and see Amanda fight Skye and then Katie do a third with Chantel Cameron. I like Chantel Cameron. I didn't think like some of the calls in their fight and how that played out, but do I really need to see a third? It's exciting and it'll make them some money, but I don't want to see it again. I want to see Katie Taylor fight Amanda Serrano.
I think a lot of people do too. That was just too close of a fight that really needs to happen. I don't care. Katie's making $1 bajillion. Amanda's making $1 bajillion. Personally, they don't care at this point because the money is there. They've already created some generational wealth. They want to be able to say, you know what, in this rematch, I clearly won. It was a decisive win. It wasn't like so close where everyone was on the fence of who won. But we shall see. And if
they do that one, where would you want to see it? Because with
Madison
the Katie
Square Garden
and MSG. Because I just, the home cooking thing always bums me out. And I feel like that was a big factor too with the Katie Taylor fight. And Katie Taylor people, please don't jump up in my mentions, girl. They were coming at my neck for some of the stuff that I said on Twitter. I'm like, if you're gonna come at my neck, at least put your face in your picture, your profile picture. You can't talk shit to me if you can't put your face on it. So boo to you, Katie Taylor people. And I don't dislike Katie Taylor. I think she's awesome, talented, and a trailblazer and a maverick and all these things. I didn't like that fight. I didn't like the officiating of that fight. And I don't like home cooking.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Well, like I said, women's fights are always just getting heated. Skye Nicolson, so with the WBC interim, calling out Amanda Serrano. I caught up with Ebony Bridges, sexy Ebony Bridges, and world champion, that she's going to be defending her strap in San Francisco on the Haney versus Prograis card. I caught up with her and I had to ask her, did she see the Taylor fight and what she thought about Skye Nicolson? If she fought Amanda Serrano, would she fight 3-minute rounds? And this is what she had to say. Ebony Bridges, you're here in Viva Las Vegas. Welcome and welcome to Hello Today. You know me, I'm a Best Women's Boxing Show, period. Ebony Bridges, you have a fight next week. But anyways, besides that, we saw the fight today for Cameron versus Taylor. Thoughts real quick.
Man, you know what? I was always backing Cameron because I just thought that Cameron was always like bigger, strong in the way that she beat Taylor the first time, and I haven't seen much different out of Katie. But Katie came back, man. She bring back like that Katie from like years ago where she was like fiery and she was fast and she was really on it. I felt like it was the Katie we haven't seen for a while. I feel like that loss must have really fueled her on and gave her so much more motivation because she came out really, really hungry. So I think it's done good and I'm looking forward to the trilogy.
Okay, real fast. Skye won. How do you feel if Amanda Serrano doesn't take the fight because she wants 3-minute rounds and Skye will get elevated to WBC full champ?
Well, I actually don't. I think that Skye would probably fight 3-minute rounds. 3-minute rounds would probably suit Skye, to be fair. So I'd be surprised if Skye said no to 3-minute rounds. But if that's what she does, then I don't know. Like I feel like kind of sucks, but Skye's the champ, isn't it? Yeah. It's a shitty way to get the title, but I don't know. I don't like to say that Serrano would be dodging everyone, but it's all she wants to do, isn't it? She wants to do the 3. She's adamant on it, so that's what she wants to stand for. It's more important to her than fighting her mandatory.
Okay, and last one. Did you see the tweet? Or in my show, Jeandra and I were talking about ring outfits. I said, attention, Ebony Bridges. If I were to walk out in a ring, wearing black tape.
I saw that.
I could see you.
No, I saw it. I'm pretty sure I reshared it. And you know what, to be fair, there's a guy here, not here, but in New York that does the black tape. And I've known him for a couple of years. And I said to him, I did say if I ever fight in America that I was going to get it done. But maybe not this fight, maybe the next
Not
one.
this fight. I think it has to be a bigger fight in Viva Las Vegas. And lastly, Demetrius Andrade or David Benavidez?
Oh, I'm going for Benavidez on this one.
Knockout or stoppage?
No, I don't think knockout. No, I think points.
Okay, real fast. I want to see your outfit. Yes. Oh, booty and everything. I'm all champion for titties and booty, and Ebony's got them all back.
I put my weigh-ins in 2 weeks. You haven't seen it for a year. It's been a while.
You know the last interview
And wait a second. Let's not forget to plug my OnlyFans.
Oh, your OnlyFans, Ebony Bridges.
Hot shit on OnlyFans recently.
How's your pussy doing?
Pussy's great.
She's doing good?
Yeah.
We know that. I love you, Ebony. Thank you. Best of luck to you next week. Can you believe that? I was really shocked with Ebony saying that Skye Nicolson would fight the 3-minute rounds. Would Eddie allow that? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. What's been his? I can't think of offhand. We have people who've been very vocal about women for or against fighting 3. Notably, Lou DiBella is very anti 3-minute rounds, but then you have the other women who have signed this decree or this pledge that they want to do 3-minute rounds. So what has Eddie said? Do you recall? I don't recall offhand him having a strong, he may have, and I just forgot because him having a strong stance on it.
Personally, I don't know, because when Amanda talked about it with Katie, at first she said she didn't want to. That's what I read. This was way back in the day. And then Katie said maybe it could be on the table, but there was no fight going on. And then now the conversation has come up with Natasha Jonas and Michaela Mayer. Michaela said it, and Tasha said, I didn't even know that you wanted 3 minutes. I don't know if that's true or not, but hey, I just take what the fighters say at face value during their press conference. But I personally, like I said, if we're not going to get 3 minutes, 12 rounds, give us a 2-minute 12 rounds for championship fights. I think that's completely fair. You know, we have to do baby steps. I think that's a good baby step for people because like Amanda said, when you have to train for a 12 round, 3 minute, it's different. Your cardio, everything's so different. And I don't know how these women train. Maybe they do train 12 rounds, 15 rounds. I have no clue, but I think maybe just doing that little step is the step in the right direction of where women's boxing can go in the future.
I totally agree with you. For those of you who are listening into this or watching on YouTube, let us know your argument pro or against 3-minute rounds. There's science behind it. And for those of you who are particularly invested in women's boxing, or if you're just invested in boxing as a whole, what would you rather see? Would you rather see 10 3-minute rounds, 12 2-minute rounds? Give us your thoughts, drop it in the comments, and maybe we'll pull out some of the best comments next week, because we'll be discussing Ebony Bridges. We'll be leading into Ebony Bridges's fight next week on the Haney Pro Grade undercard, and maybe we'll pull out some of your best responses.
Yeah, because it's a hot topic. We know WBC does not want that. So unfortunate for Amanda, she will never be able to do an undisputed fight with all the belts. So it's really sad. I get it. I understand maybe the CTE with the findings, but
you guys, tweet at Mauricio Suleiman and tell him we need him to come on so we can just do a full episode dedicated to what the frontier looks like for that. When you have fighters who specifically want 3-minute rounds, and it's always said that that's a point of negotiation. So why not support? We know why he doesn't support it, but what do you do in this case when the fighter is adamant that they want it? So tweet at him and let him know we want to talk about it.
Yeah, Mauricio, we want to talk to you. All right. Well, it was another sad moment in boxing. It was a wrap of Showtime pay-per-view here in Viva Las Vegas. David Benavidez and Bubu Andre, Jermall Charlo, and Jose Benavidez Jr. put it all on the line. Well, no belts, but they put their reputations on the line. Bubu did really well at the very beginning. I was really impressed, and then it went downhill. And
what do you think happened? There's much debate, everything from was it conditioning? Was it this? Was it that? What do you think was the factor of other than David beating his ass, what do you think changed from the success he was finding in the first part of the fight and when he started to get away? When the fight started to get away from him?
From what I remember, because I saw it live in the arena, so I didn't get to see it on TV. From whatever round Bubu got caught, that's when he was hurt. And so when you're hurt, you're hunting blood and you're ready for the kill. And David even said that in the post-fight presser. He's like, I think he caught him with the right hook or something. And he goes, I saw he was hurt. His leg was shaking. And he's like, I knew he was ready to go. So I think that David's power and his, him coming forward and just intentionally destroying him was too much for Bubu, that he could not catch a breath. And when he did, you could see his face was like discombobulated. And Victor Conte even told me from Snack, he goes, we have no excuses. David was the better man that night. And I love that, because it's two warriors that put on the line. But it's funny that, they both say he doesn't have that, his skills weren't that good. No shade to them. But you guys,
come on,
y'all have skills. Come on, just give them their props, but good for them. What did you see since you were watching it from home?
As I watched the fight, I felt like after finding, like you mentioned, once he was hurt, I feel like that changed his whole approach, and he got away from the plan that he was finding success in, instead of backing up and regrouping and going back to what was working for him in the early part of the round. But what's it say? Who says that? Was it Mike Tyson who said everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth?
Yeah.
And so David was putting those big shots on him, and I guess that somebody hits you in the face really, really hard, it kind of changes your way of thinking, and you don't want to do that again. You want to get out of the way of that. And perhaps his fundamentals or his boxing fundamentals didn't equip him to how to deal with that, because historically when we've seen Bubu Andre, he's a technical fighter. He moves, he's awkward, and his awkwardness wasn't so that David didn't know how to adjust to it. And props to David for being far more, I knew he was powerful but he showed me more technical skill than I previously thought he had.
Yeah. And it's wild to me because when you think about it, Jose Benavidez Sr., kudos to him because, you have fighters that have been fighting all their lives and they go to these professional ones. Jose learned from YouTube. Like that, it's incredible. And he's produced world champions, his own sons. And it really... I'm not going to say anyone can do it, but he really put the time and energy to really understand boxing and really have his kids and teach him and just learn the fundamentals. And we see it with David, and David is in his prime. He's still so very young. I was like, I wonder if Canelo was watching, but Canelo was in Abu Dhabi doing a golf tournament. And so, but people be like tweeting, I'm like, Canelo I even tweet, I go, Canelo needs to take this fight. If you want to prove you're the best Mexican warrior, you have got to fight David Benavidez. It's not Jaime Munguia. I'm sorry. You cannot fight Jaime Munguia. You can fight him just for fun, but not as, no, that's.
Jaime looked terrible in his last fight. What'll be interesting to me for Benavidez Sr., and we definitely have to get him back. He's been really cool about talking to us in the past. They kicked off this whole thing. He and Caleb kicked off this whole thing for us. What I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen with him is he going to join that category of trainers that never fully get their props? Because look, you've had David. I can't remember, was Jose Jr. ever a champ when he was at top rank? I can't remember, but I say that to say, I think of him, I think of Bomac, and I think of Floyd Sr. and how they were never anointed as trainer of the year. And I know that's been a point of contention for Bomac, that, he doesn't get his props for now having a 2-time undisputed champion. Will they do the same thing with Benavidez Sr. as David continues to rise and grow and be this powerhouse? Will the powers that be award him trainer of the year distinction? Because the old guard doesn't look favorably on people who didn't come up the traditional way. They like the old school route, and him saying that he learned to train from YouTube. Like, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what his ultimate legacy will be too, because he's fully invested in his sons, and he's committed to taking them as far as they can go. So shout out to the Benavidez family.
No, I know. It's really cool. And you know what? I forgot her name. She said hi. The one that does all of the True Essence.
That's his sister.
Yeah, his sister. She came up to me on Radio Road. She's like, "Best Women's Boxing Show here, and I love you guys." I'm like, "Oh," she was like, "I'm David's sister." I'm like, "Oh, I love your designs. Thank you."
And she's so talented.
And the mom said hi. She said hi to you.
I love her.
Yeah.
I love his mother. She's the sweetest person. But I mean, that's just, look at how when your family rallies around your dreams.
Yes.
How it gives birth to their own dreams, because you've got your 2 brothers who fight. Mm-hmm. She obviously never wanted to fight, but she's managed to wield that love and support of her brothers into a way that she can create her own dreams and designing gear and stuff. Because watching her, if you go back and follow her, True Essence Customs, I think is what her Instagram is. We'll tag her at some point in our stories. She does some really beautiful work, and it's just been so amazing to watch her evolve into that. And she too is very, very young, because she's younger than David. And David's
is she?
Yeah, she's like I think she's the baby sister.
Oh wow.
I'm pretty sure she's the baby. David's 25, so she can't be more than 20, 21, something like that.
Wow.
I think that's so beautiful when a family can really rally around a cause but still maintain their own identity.
Yeah.
So dope.
It's cool because, a lot of other fighters, they'll hire like celebrity designers or someone, but doing it as your own sister, and she does some really good I'm a bedazzled girl sequence, and she does all. We got to talk about some merch for us, for Jay.
Yeah, she said she would do us some shoes. We got to buy us like some ones and give them to her and have her make us some custom Best Women's Boxing Show period. Ooh. Yeah,
that's a great idea.
We're going to talk about that.
We're going to talk about that. Yes. All right. So let's move on. Jamal Charlo. took on Jose Benavidez. It's kind of funny. I even text you, I go, Charlo doesn't look like he missed a step.
I agree.
He looked good.
He really, really did. He looked sharp. I was expecting him to come in kind of flat-footed and lazy, but no, he really looked good. He was flicking that jab. It was almost like he missed it. And once he got in there, it just activated him. And maybe that's what he needed for his healing, really, to get back in the ring. Because he looked good. He looked good.
Jose did what he did. Jose was moving up in weight. Charlo was moving down. And unfortunately, of course, we all saw Charlo miss weight. It's weird. He gained weight on the second try. And, I get it. He paid a lot of money, allegedly $75,000 per pound. That's a lot of money. Woo. So it was, but he made second day weight because God forbid he would have been out another, say, if he was over 10 pounds, that's a lot more weight. But they gave each other props. It was a very good win. Charlo, during the past, I don't know if you got to see his presser after. He's so nice. Usually he's always barking at people or just not, he was really, really grateful and thankful for being back in the ring and just being on the final Showtime card. And everyone's asking him about Canelo. Because he would love that fight, obviously, because he was supposed to be the one before his younger brother. But he said, I wasn't ready. I was not mentally there. And they gave me the mic and I'm like, ooh, I'm going to ask about Carlos Adames because he's the mandatory for, I don't know what, over 2 years.
Go ahead, Twin Brain. You better.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. And so I was like, okay. I'm like, does any of these fights, Janabek, who's also a belt holder, I go, do these fights entice you? I'm like, maybe you're mandatory, And he's like, I don't duck from anyone. I'll fight them all. But in the same sentence, I want to go up to 168 because it's a hot division. I get he's chasing the money, but you also have a belt. You have to defend this belt or give it up.
Come up off it.
Yeah, he's like David Benavidez. He would love to fight. Did he fight Caleb Plant yet? No, he hasn't fought Caleb Plant yet.
No, it was in the hallway.
Oh yeah, that's right. The slap.
He fought in the hallway.
Yeah, that's right. Shout out to Lily because he did ask about that, and he's like, yeah. He's like, he's still a punk ass bitch, but yeah, I will still fight him. I was like, good for him. Some fighting words.
I'm just still stuck on the fact that this man had to come up off of $225,000. I mean, if that's what they negotiate, I'm not mad at the amount. I feel like my pride would not allow for that. 3 pounds. Well, you know what? I'm not a pro athlete, so maybe them 3 pounds was heavy for him, hard for him to lose.
He looked drained.
Thirsty.
Drained.
Can you imagine? How much was the purse?
I know. No one knows.
I miss when Dan Raphael used to tweet all the purses and stuff for the fights. $225,000. That ain't no little bit of money. That ain't.
Nope.
Man, I could remodel my whole house. I could have got a new car.
That's a whole lot of money.
I could have paid my kids like rent for the next couple of years till she finished college. That's a lot of money. If anybody would like to, I will lose 3 pounds. If anybody wants to run us 225K, I could probably lose 3 pounds by tonight by just not drinking water. But if anybody wants to run us 225K, we got you. I got you.
Oh, that would be funny.
Shit, I'd lose 100 pounds for 225K. Are you feel me? Like, let's go. I'm into it. Let's go.
Oh man, but yeah, good for Jose. Good for them. Now we're gonna see where all these cards fall on for PBC and all the rumbles of it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Amazon, but I'm not sure. I don't know. And that's a whole other conversation of like purses because there's possibly maybe no guarantees. So PBC fighters, y'all are going to have to start fighting for like normal money. Like normal
It'll be like money. Survivor. If you lose, you off. Like
we talked about this, the contender survivor series.
Exactly. Ooh,
how to do it.
That's a good idea. Amazon has to compete like Netflix, and this is not a sponsored ad, but it can be a sponsored ad if they
they are. Netflix is doing a little tester with Jake Paul's fight. to see how they're gonna. Yeah, Netflix is kind of dabbling in boxing. It's just that there's no guarantees. So if people are like, "What's that mean?" They're like, "No guarantees means there's no money up front. So someone has to put the money up front. They'll just put it so you can watch it somewhere."
Come on, Saudi, put us up some money. You know, we trying to see these fights. I mean, with Netflix, I've been watching. They've been doing the Squid Game thing, the actual Squid Game. Put the fights on like that, like you said, Contender style. Put them on Netflix. I would watch that. Heck yeah. But make them real fights, not like the Contender Fugazi type of stuff where you don't get to see the finale. Like when I went to go see the taping of it, because they filmed it over here not far from my house, and they didn't let us see the final fight between Mosley Jr. and Brandon Adams, I think was the finale of that show. And I'm like, all right. But yeah, let's do some real stuff. We need some of these fights.
Okay, speaking of Saudi, because we both watched the Brian Custer interview, Ryan Garcia. We know he's fighting, but he's fighting with everyone else right now, namely Oscar De La Hoya, Bernard Hopkins, and Golden Boy. Girl, that's some tea right there. Like, that's a lot of stuff to digest. To be fair, Ryan was just reacting to what Bernard Hopkins said. Maybe there is truth to what Bernard Hopkins says, because we're not in the room with whatever goes on. We only see what we see. And of course, Ryan is right. You know what? Bernard doesn't have shit on him he can't do anything about his career, because you know what? They've all made each other's career. They've all gotten paid very well, very well. And so the fighting words, when he talked about it with Brian Custer, and then we watched the press conference yesterday where he opened up with Bernard Hopkins, when Bernard Hopkins says, "Boxing is going to call your bluff." That's what he said. And he looked directly at Ryan like, oh. And then Oscar in the background, when he's talking about Oscar, he's like, "Well, dang that." And then Oscar is like looking at Bernard like, what's going on here?
Well, I got to catch a
novela. It's a telenovela.
It was some drama. I love me a little drama. It was low-key embarrassing, but entertaining at the same time. Do you know, I think about being a parent. And imagine you're parenting and then your kid gets up there and be like, "You ain't do shit for me." Oh, wow.
I'll sit your ass down.
Sit your ass down. You know, he and I don't know, maybe Tank's been giving him tips. Not Tank. Was it Tank? I feel like everybody's been having words with their people at public press conferences. Was it Tank or was it Broner? No, it was Broner.
Santa.
He was acting up with Leonard Ellerby.
Yeah.
Well, he said Broner's his boy. He said Broner's his boy.
And it's so weird that when they said, "Oh yeah, Ryan said, you know that you're supposed to fight Broner," and Broner's like, "There was a contract sent," and Ryan's like, "What are you talking about?" But but this whole Ryan thing, it is no secret that there has been a lot of family drama within that whole circle. They have been airing that laundry out. I told you yesterday they need to break up. They need to part ways. Ryan needs to buy out his contract, because this is such a toxic relationship. It's really bad. I think, when we say there's no more Showtime, because, he could have gone to Showtime. DAZN is not a promoter. They just put fights on. He did talk about Terrence Crawford, what would be the next thing for boxing, and maybe how they can put on fights of how the way they see it, the new vision of how boxing should be, of this Gen Z, whatever the next way of how the world is going to see it, and why he has over X amount of fans, and why he's made $30 million.
Damn, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. But it's well earned. He said it
absolutely
when he was talking shit about Shakur. "I'm a 3-division world champion. Well, I'm the only fighter at 30 million." I'm like, "Ooh, that stung." That stung.
Ryan is really fun. I love Ryan. Like, I know he had a lot of personality. We've been around him, but he must love him some Brian Custer, because he was letting it all hang out. And I got so much enjoyment of watching Brian laugh at him, saying all the things that he said. Like, he is a character. I give this version of Ryan the mic. Like, it's always exciting. You need personalities. And I feel like he's got a lot of personality, but it's still authentic to who he is. It's not like an act. Whether he wins or lose, I just like the energy. I'm into the energy. You know, he's good looking. Like he said, I'm good looking. I'm so good looking. He is good looking. And we need all these personalities to get to these fights. I wonder, in an ideal scenario, if we put him and Terrence Crawford in a room, because they seem to be aligned in their mindset of where boxing should go, like what would they come up with? Like, we never get a chance to really truly hear the fighter perspective of.
I would love to do a round table. We should do a round table. That's what I'm saying. You know what? All you guys and ladies who always, since boxing is so different now, the tides are turning. You guys want a seat at the table. You guys want to hear what's going on. You guys want to have a say. So I think it would be great to have a round table of like 3 women or 4 women, 4 men, or, you know, at least. We already know with the women, they're going to say 3-minute rounds. At least.
Exactly.
But I would, like say if we can get Ryan, Terrence.
It would have to be fighters who don't have a really tight leash on them.
Yeah.
I.e. Heyman fighters, you know, if they ain't thinking Al Heyman, they're going to be sitting on the bench. Yeah. So I think it would be like, I think Ryan and Crawford are a great jumping off point, because Ryan clearly ain't messing with Oscar right now, so he's gonna talk his shit. Crawford is his own businessman, so he can say whatever he wants. Yeah. So we would just need like a few more fighters who
remember Jamal Charlo even talked about when we asked him in our interview, where do you think boxing? And he went into like a great story of when he was 12 years old. I think the Charlo brothers would be great to talk to, because they obviously think of 2 different things. But I think that's a great idea, because, you know, especially they're PBC, that they don't have a home right now, as of right now, which couldn't change in a couple of weeks.
We gonna write it. I got some ideas on that. We just gotta find some money.
Yeah, and even Devon Haney, because he's the man that was very smart. He only signed with Top Rank for a couple fights, DAZN with Matchroom. He's doing his own thing, and look at how much money he's making. And speaking of him, he's vacated his belts. That means he ain't wanting no smoke. He wants to fight Prograis, and then he wants to fight Barrios. Yes, he wants to fight Barrios. He wants to fight Barrios. So that's a clear path. I'm like, well, I guess we're never going to see Shakur. We're never going to see Tank. We're probably never going to see Ryan, unless, you know, because they all want belts. And Devon Haney has clearly said, I'm moving up. Once he fights Prograis, he's already vacated the belt. So that's Tank will be elevated. He does not want to be elevated. He doesn't want to be the email champ. He tweeted, I don't want that shit. You know, because look at Devon Haney got so much shit for being the email champ. It wasn't his fault. Now Loma and Kambosos are fighting in Australia for, I think it's the IBF belt. So I don't, and then so what's his name was Shakur is the WBC, because he just won it, and then the WBA is Tank, and I don't know who the WBO is. I don't know. I don't know, but at least finally, you know, good for them. They're not holding on to the belts. They're moving on to bigger, better things. So defend your belts, guys, or vacate.
Teofimo?
Oh yeah.
No, Teofimo is the undisputed champ at 140. Maybe that's the move right there. Maybe a Haney win is the path to him into a fight with Teofimo to be undisputed at the next weight class up, because they've always had plenty of words for each other. So maybe that's the move.
That's right. Devon Haney is vacating his 135 belt. Excuse me. Did you hear, girl, on the Sean Porter podcast? He's already said no to a fight in December. He said no to Ryan Garcia, allegedly, which they cleared up, saying that the low ball, it was too low ball of an offer. And that's what we saw at the Benavides fight. Someone interviewed him. He's like, I'm not fighting for 1.5 million. I bring big sponsors, blah, 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 blah. The takeover promotions, dude. Fine. Good for you. But he wants to fight Terrence Crawford.
Teofimo does.
Oh, yeah. He called him out.
What weight do they fight at? Because Crawford's already been undisputed at 140 when he whipped everybody's ass, Postal, all them. I still have dreams of that Postal fight. That was
147, he's cleaned out. 154.
Teal wants to go up to 147 to fight Crawford.
That's not even a belt fight. It's just it would just be a money fight.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, it is feasible. Crawford went on a big time victory lap after he beat down Errol Spence. So there is an interest there. There's the financial, maybe Warren Buffett could put something on it. We know he got it. Teofimo versus Crawford. Stylistically, I like the way that fight looks, but do I want to see it right now?
No.
I don't want to see that right now. I'd rather see Teofimo fight Ryan or Devon or one of those guys. I don't want to see that now.
The quote unquote four kings, they need to fight. They can't just keep saying the low. Those, like I said in my interview with Michaela, the four kings fought. The money came, but they fought 4 or 5 times a year. These guys are fighting maybe once a year if they're lucky. Teofimo hasn't fought in a very long time.
And all of them talk about legacy, and part of legacy is fighting those who are around you. Imagine if historically, if Floyd never fought like Oscar or Manny or Manny fighting Marquez or Cotto, all those guys fought each other. And I feel like all of these guys are maneuvering to find ways they're still finding ways to not fight each other. And I don't like it. Cut it out with the low ball offers. Make some real offers to people. Stop being greedy. Come on. Ryan made $30 million in a loss. In a loss. He ain't even win, and he won $30 million. He got $30 million.
You know why? Is because he knows how to promote himself.
That's
and
right.
He knew going in with the concessions he made that, he did a rehydration clause, which he knew that hurt him. And that's like part of the reason why they're all fighting, because Oscar called it out. You shouldn't have done this. And then a lot of, it's already been said and done. It's really bad. It's just bad. I don't like to see the fighting. It's really terrible. I get it. They've done a lot of the private fighting, and now it's like, screw it. I'm taking it. He had to let his frustration out.
Everybody complains they need money, but nobody's making no moves to make no money. So if you need money, but you don't want to make fights to make money, how are you going to make money if not making fights to make money? What the hell? It's such a damn circle jerk. Like, get over it.
It really is. It really is. And then lastly, we just quickly talked about it. Conor Ben, BBBC is not allowing.
I want to call them BBL.
The
BBL said
not going to sanction any of his fights because he still hasn't gone through the proper channels and protocol of proving that he is a clean fighter. Hey, we still have to see this dossier. Just put it out on Twitterverse. Let us all sit through it. Boxing Twitter CIA agents will find everything, be like, highlight, they'll do a whole diagram, like a PowerPoint for us, be like, yeah, he says he's clean. Jeandra would do that. I know you.
Oh yeah. I'm nosy. I'll be in there at night just trying to find it. But oh my goodness, PDs and performance.
I mean, it's the same thing with Alicia Baumgardner. She put out the statement. We don't know, and I don't know if Michigan has done anything, the state commission, but it's hard to say. I can understand why fighters go and do their own testing because they're like, I'm tired of all the other testing bodies because it could potentially be tainted, but we're not sure. There were a lot of things that she tested for, but I don't think she tested for all of them. I'm not exactly sure. So I don't know. The WBC allegedly said they're going to strip her, but nothing has been done. So until everyone can prove themselves that they are clean, I don't think that they should fight. If
I'm a clean fighter, you know what I would do? Because these are state organizations, I would go to the governor and be like, look, I'm going to sue the state of insert state here unless they work this out because they're impacting my future. You can file a civil suit saying, look, I can't make no money because this organization is not doing their part of helping me clear my name or not clear my name, or just do something to just get out of the holding pattern. So
it's really hard, because Alicia is our girl. She's a fighter, but it's, at the end of the day, she's a fighter. People put their lives on the risk. We're not putting our lives on the risk in the ring, and it's our job to talk about it. And so until we know furthermore, the saga continues. So
the saga continues.
We shall see.
Yes.
But girl, this was a fun one. We got to run it back because we had so many good fights and we had a lot of thoughts. Lots and lots of thoughts. And this whole Ryan telenovela will continue into next week.
I'm gonna make my popcorn and keep watching this Ryan thing because this weigh-in might be jumping. You know what was funny with Ryan and the whole situation? I saw Tank. I think Tank commented something like, Bernard saved him from getting jacked up. He don't even mess with Bernard or something like that when they were having their whole little tussle. And he said Bernard tried to touch him. Put the stuff on his skin. Like, oh, it's just a mess. It's a mess.
I swear. It's the Illuminati coming out.
Put the triangle up.
I know, right? But yeah, so yes, again, Ryan Garcia, Oscar Duarte is fighting this weekend in Houston, Texas on DAZN. I don't know. Let's see. I'm not gonna say an easy picking because the guy is coming off, I think, 8 or 11 straight knockouts. But I really am curious to see how Ryan looks because he said he looks better than ever. So I want to see how Derek's been working with him and then just really see the full Ryan in 100% shape, 100% focus, 100% mentally there. And this will be fun. It will just, you know what? I just want to be there for the conversations that happen.
Me too.
Oh, I know. All right, Jeandra. So until next week when we talk about the Haney Prograde card and Ebony Bridges fighting. Jeandra, thanks for hanging out with me and talking some boxing and talking some smack and, of course, spilling the tea with me as always.
Always. I love it. There's no place I'd rather be and nobody I'd rather do it with.
Oh, yeah. And then there you go. The sirens are going off.
Okay. And on that note.
All right, guys. I'm Cynthia Conte.
And I'm Jeandra LeBeauf.
Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Best Women's Boxing Show, period. See you guys at the fights. Bye, guys.